Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Concepts of Redstone, a series in which I, Opisek, take you through the wonderful world of redstone from the very basics to the very complex concepts. In this episode we are going to cover the piston. The piston, or its brother sticky piston, basically push blocks, or the normal piston does. The sticky piston pushes and pulls the block back. You recognize the sticky piston by the slime on its face. Some texture packs also include slime on its side. Now the timings behind the piston are quite difficult to understand. The extending takes exactly one redstone tick, and the retracting is kind of immediate but still takes one tick to complete. And so, if you have this setup right here, it will take one redstone tick for this block to go from this place to this place. And it will take two redstone ticks for this signal here to go completely off. One redstone tick, two redstone ticks. And then, after this one tick, we will still have one tick to spare here, and the signal will go through into the lamp. And it works. However, this redstone line right here doesn't quite turn on. It does turn on when this repeater is set to 2 ticks. So the extension is actually kind of 1.5, 2 redstone ticks if you take a look at the whole picture. And so a different way to visualize this is by using this here. It takes one redstone tick for this block to get here, and it takes one redstone tick for this post to be off. So nothing will happen here. However, if we put a repeater here, it will take 2 redstone ticks for this to go here. 1, 2. And so the signal will go through. Retracting wise, it's kind of immediate, but also takes 1 redstone tick. I will show you what I mean with immediate in just a second. However, let's take a look at this setup here first. It takes 1 redstone tick for this signal to go off, and it takes 1 redstone tick for this block to appear here. And so no signal goes through. However, if it takes 2 ticks for this signal to go off, some signal does go through. Since after 1 tick it's here, and we need 2 ticks for the signal to become turned off. And then a different setup where we can visualize this is this one right here. For extending, 1 tick right here. After 1 tick, this redstone line right here will turn on. But also after 1 redstone tick, this block will be here. And then in the next redstone tick, this redstone line right here will realize that it's actually turned off, or like it, that's actually blocked off, and then it will turn off. As you can see, it blinks really quickly. For retracting, we'll put 2 ticks on here, and now it takes 1 redstone tick for this block to go here, and we have 2 redstone ticks here. So after 2 redstone ticks, this line will be off. After 1 redstone tick, this piece of redstone can spread its signal to this piece of redstone, and then the next tick, it's off. And this here is one way of creating a so-called monostable circuit. However, we'll talk more about those in the pulses episode, which right now on my list is set to be the 7th episode in the series, which is the next reason for you to subscribe to this channel, as well as click the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever the next episode comes out. So now, based on this here, it should take 2, 4, 6, 8 redstone ticks for this signal here to get transferred to this lamp here. However, if we set those repeaters to 8 ticks, you will see that's actually slower than the pistons. That's because it's actually 6 ticks. And from what I understand, it takes 1 redstone tick for this redstone block to move to here. Then it takes half a redstone tick for this piston to realize that it's being powered by this redstone block right here. And then again, 1 redstone tick for this redstone block to get moved over here. Half, 1 half, 1 half. And so it takes 6 redstone ticks. Now retracting, as said, it's kind of immediate, as in this block disappears immediately after putting this lever off, and so this piston will retract immediately, which means that this redstone block right here will be gone immediately, and so on. Which means that this piston right there will actually retract immediately as I pull this lever towards myself. However, it does still take 1 redstone tick for this block to appear here. All this timing nonsense or difficulties make it very, very complex for us to work with pistons unless you actually understand how they work. But now, another weird thing that happens is, if you provide a pulse that is shorter than 1.5 redstone tick, then the piston will basically leave its block here. As we found in the previous episode, an observer which detects an update outputs a 1 tick pulse out of the bag. And we can see this happening here. It's a sticky piston, by the way. Now, why does it happen? Well, it takes 1 redstone tick for this to go there. However, then the 1 tick pulse will be gone immediately, and so the piston will retract immediately, leaving its block behind. You can see it happen here. And it's basically just something you have to memorize. 1 tick pulses basically make pistons do this little neat behavior, and this is actually very important for us. You will learn why in the 7th episode, which will be covering converting different pulses into different pulses and converting a constant signal into pulses and pulses into constant signal, basically the pulses episode. But contradicting to what I just said here about the 7th episode being about converting pulses and so on, I will show you one more way to do this because it uses pistons. There are way more ways to do this with pistons, however this is so basic that I think I should show it to you right now. If I press this lever, the signal will go through the block and into this piston. However, this redstone here powers this block, which then powers this piston, which extends immediately, but it takes 1 redstone tick for this block to go here. And so what we'll get is a 1 tick pulse. Same outcome as here. This piston right here basically pushes its block away from itself. And the next thing that I do want to say is that pistons are affected by quasi-connectivity, which is a concept that we'll be talking about in the 10th episode. So for now, just don't give it much of a thought. However, this is the reason as to why I will not show you any door designs in this episode yet, since quasi-connectivity is a very important concept in the Java edition of Minecraft, as quasi-connectivity only exists in this version of Minecraft. That is Java version of Minecraft. It doesn't exist in Bedrock, or Nintendo Switch, or whatever else. But for now, let's really quickly go back to the very basics, as in pushing and pulling blocks. A piston can push 12 blocks at max. As you can see, you have 4 times 3 blocks here, which is 12 blocks. A piston can push this extremely well. But if you were to add another block and then try to push it, nothing will happen. 12 blocks at the very max. The colors, by the way, don't mean anything. They're just there to visualize that it's actually 12 blocks, 4 times 3. Sticky pistons obviously follow the same rule, as in they can only push 12 blocks. However, all those blocks will not get pulled back when we do this. Only the block that directly touches the slime on the piston's face. However, we have a way of extending this, and that is by using slime blocks. Slime blocks basically connect blocks together. And so here, this piston will push all of those blocks, that is this here, which is attached to those blocks here, also this, and it will also pull them all back. Same rules apply, however, that is only 12 blocks for both pushing and pulling. The glazed terracotta block is a block that cannot be pulled by pistons. It's just too slippery, and so slime blocks will not be able to pull them, nor will the slime on the piston itself. A different example where the block type affects the way the pistons work is with non-movable blocks or unmovable blocks. Unmovable blocks are blocks which cannot be pushed, and they obviously can't be pulled either. Those blocks are, but they're probably not limited to, obsidian, bedrock, furnace, dispenser dropper, chests, hopper, and extended pistons. A different block type which has a different mechanic for the pistons are those blocks here, so for example doors, levers, buttons, crops or any different type of foliage, tripwire hooks, or flower pots, or probably more blocks. Those blocks just get broken when the piston pushes them. Which, by the way, is the reason why the following scene from Bite-Sized Minecraft from Selfblink doesn't actually work in actual Minecraft. Nevertheless, it is worth to check the video out, so check out the description for the link to it. And so with the knowledge you already have, you are actually able to create flying machines, like this one here. There will be an episode covering flying machines, however right now let me just explain to you how this one works. So when you update this observer right here, it will output a 1 tick pulse into this slime block, which will then be registered by this piston. Also, very important to note, pistons do not accept signal coming in from the side where the head is on. And so when this piston realizes that, it basically pushes those blocks here away from itself, and it will not pull them back because it's a 1 tick pulse. As we found in the previous episode, observers do detect being pushed as an update, and so this observer right here will output a signal into this block right here, which will activate this piston, pulling those blocks which stayed behind. And then everything starts again, as in this observer block right here outputs a signal, and then this piston pushes everything. This observer block has a signal, which it outputs into this piston, which pulls everything back. And so this is one of the simplest flying machines you can create. And it's also one of the simplest two-way flying machines that you can create. And now for the very end, I have a little game, so to say, for you. As you can see, we have very many different pistons here. This one right here is a normal piston, by the way. And your goal here is to push this block over to this red block. If you want to, you can pause the video, analyze everything, maybe even rebuild it in your own world, and then come up with a solution. I will show you mine in 3, 2, 1. Alright, oh by the way, we don't need this lever right here. But what my solution looks like is I first push this block here, which pushes this piston here. Then I can push the piston here and pull it back. That way I've moved this piston from here to here. Now I can pull this block here, push it there, pull it there, and push it there. And there it is. This one right here, you just have to get this block to go over here. Take a second or two to analyze everything. By the way, this one here is a sticky piston. Alright, 3, 2, and 1. Let's see. You can activate this one, which will push this piston right here. Then you can activate this one and pull this block back. You can pull this piston back, and you can get this block back to here. This is actually called a double piston extender. One of the ways you can create them is by doing something like this. Let's see what happens when we extend it. We first extend this here and then this here. And for retraction, boom, boom, and then a signal here. Same thing happens here, however, as you can see, this redstone line gets activated first. However, as we've said before, pistons don't accept signal taken from the side where the head is, and so this redstone won't affect anything at first. And so this piston right here is the first one to extend. And so then this piston gets pushed over to here, and it will get powered immediately by this redstone line right here. Okay, now for retraction, the first piston that retracts is this one, and then this piston is right here. It's still being powered by this piston, by this repeater right here, and so it extends, and then gets depowered, and so it retracts the block back. However, I believe that this would be everything for this episode. If you like this episode, please make sure you click the like button, but this was everything for today. Thank you for watching and see you later.